Diddler, diddler dum dum, British Strongman Podcast, episode 80 something. So today we have Anthony Fuhrman, La Flama Blanca. Do you still call yourself the La Flama Blanca?
Only when I'm getting ready to compete. That's kind of like my competition persona, you know?
Yeah. So please tell us more about you. Give us your background. Like, first of all, as an athlete, because obviously we know what you're doing now in terms of like developing the sport, which we want to talk about more in depth in terms of clash. But tell us more about you and how you've made it to the top of the weight class scene.
Yeah. I'm a pretty average guy, really. I grew up in Pennsylvania in like a kind of a size small town. Played a lot of sports growing up, like a lot of guys do. I happened to be growing up right at the time when the Iraq War was escalating real bad, and we're doing all the surges over there. And I actually joined the Army in 2006 because I wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than me. I want to feel like I was doing something in the world instead of just living in my little piece of shit hole of it,
Wow. So how long were you in the Army for then?
I just retired.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 16 years. I got medically retired because of my stupid knee.
Yeah. So tell us how it all led into strongman. Like, what sports did you do? What's your sporting background? What do you feel has contributed to you being successful within strongman from your kind of earlier days?
Three things athletically kind of contributed. There was playing football growing up, American football. It's a contact sport. It's not easy. It's really freaking hard. There's a huge talent pool here, so you're always that trained a lot of ways athletically. Just mindset, kind of got me there. Actually, I'm actually a bowler.
Right.
Yeah, for bowling, last time I was in a league, I carried like a 220 average. Pretty bowler. And I got to tell you, bowling taught me a lot about strongman, because tell you what, if you don't have patience, you can't bowl, like, for real. It takes you have to learn a lot of the same patterns and mechanics to do them over and over again, which is similar in any athletic sport.
Yeah.
So having already done that, that kind of carried over when I started strongman. I was able to, one, be patient, and two, kind of, once I got something down, it was in there. I didn't have, I could do it over and over again, mechanically. In the Army, I tell you, one of the first interviews I ever did, they were like, "Man, you're really good at the Husafel." I'm like, "Guys, it's only 60 seconds. I've walked for like 3 days straight, so it's not that big a deal."
Wow.
Just like the mental toughness part of it, like this is not.
So did you do did you learn how to train with weights when you were playing football? Is that when it started, like in the weight room?
Actually, the very first time I was probably I was in middle school, and my stepfather got me into lifting a little bit. He had like a little set that he put in my room with like dumbbells, and I would just do curls and stuff, all that stuff, trying to get bigger push-ups. And then football is where I kind of like really started. And then honestly, it went away for quite a while with the Army, because a lot of times you don't have time really to lift with our job, especially when you're deploying a bunch and you're actually doing your work over there. Then later on, as the wars calmed down, I had more time to lift. And I fell back in love with it and found out I was pretty good at it. I was decent. I was above average strong for the normal guys. So I was like, all right, let's see where we can go with this.
So how many years have you done strongman for then? When did you start? What year did you start?
June 2015, Colorado Parker Days was my first competition. So technically, you want to count the past 2 years that I haven't done shit?
Have you been on the couch for 2 years, have you?
Yeah, ever since after I won my last title, I had a knee surgery, and then I was rehabbing that to come back for the Arnold Brazil, and I tore my bicep, and then it's just been since then my focus has shifted. I was like, I got a little frustrated with back-to-back injuries.
So the knee that it obviously affected your job as well. Did you do that in strongman, or was that on the job?
No, my first knee injury was very early in my Army career. Just all the stuff we do, rucking, running, jumping out of planes. It's very knee and back heavy. And even when I did lift, I was still easily 100 kilos without lifting.
Right. Okay.
So big guys running like that,
So as an athlete, what's been your biggest achievement within the sport? Like I probably know what this is, but for people listening, what's your biggest achievement from a pure athlete's perspective?
I gotta say, my biggest achievement was getting to the point where the entire class was chasing me. That was something. It's amazing. Rarely does somebody get there where you have people chasing you. When you become the standard for performance of the class, and that was really humbling. Once I realized people were after me, and like mimicking me and all that stuff. It was just very, very, very flattering.
And do you think I was following you. Well, obviously, I've followed you for years, actually, but I kind of got the impression that you were getting back into training with the view to competing again, and then recently it seems like you're not, and you're going to focus more on your coaching and stuff.
No. So I'm definitely doing the coaching. The training piece, I am in the middle of a full potential return. I'm testing the waters out, seeing how everything is. Starting to train and eat better, like an athlete would, with my sights set on returning. That is my intention. We will see how my knee holds up through the process. That's the one unknown, because my knee was feeling good, but I wasn't obviously doing strongman stuff for a while. So we'll see how that affects it and how I can manage it and if I can push through it.
And is your goal solely on the 105 weight class scene, or would you consider going to compete at open level comp, or is you following the passion of developing the weight classes and competing in the 105s, etc.?
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to stick with the 105 and stick with that. The open, I did step in the open for a while.
Yeah.
And that was not pleasant on my body. I'm not, I'm like barely 6 foot, 200 some pounds. So like training for 1,100 pound yokes was pretty tough.
So what do you walk, if you said you were 100 kilo in the army, what do you walk around at outside, like say you're in peak shape? Obviously, maybe not now if you've not been in training as much, but do you do a big cut to 105 or what?
No, I would walk around about, I don't know, 111 to 113 usually.
Okay. That's not so bad. I've heard in the American scene, it seems to be, well, obviously not for yourself, but I've seen a lot of people do much bigger cuts than over here. So I wasn't sure if you were like a 120 kilo boy or something.
No. There are some guys that do that. They're rarely successful because that's just a lot of weight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I've seen the biggest, the best, like 110 to 115.
So what are your favorite 3 events then? If you had to pick a 3 event show that for you to dominate, what 3 events would be your cherry picked?
Let's see. Back when my knee was healthy, I would go with a deadlift, a farmers of any kind, and any sort of medley, whether it be loading, carrying, however it is.
Excellent. What about you, Shane? You got 5 seconds to answer this. 3 events.
Got 3 events.
Yeah.
Any dead, any press, throw.
Excellent. Right. So let's move on and talk about Clash anyway. So go on.
Split jerker in there.
Say again. What did you say?
Your top 3, max.
Just say split jerk, or split jerk behind the next split jerk. Throw it. Or split jerk with a hitch. Can you do that? I don't know.
Shooting splits.
Right. So tell us about Clash and your vision for Clash, like in the next 5 years, and then we'll break it down and look at the intricacies of it.
Yeah. Clash. It's this really cool thing, man. It's fluid. It started out as just something. I've been fairly outspoken my entire career about the 105s and how we get shit on. So that's where I started, because that's what I knew, right? And I was like, these guys deserve so much more. So I wasn't competing, and I had the time and a little bit of disposable income. So I set up Clash for the guys, because I wanted, and it was supposed to be Americans only. And then once I started announcing it, the international guys were like, hey, wait a minute. And I was like, all right, I guess I can make this international. Like, okay. and it blew my mind, the response, and the production we put on was, I mean, we a lot of stuff we needed to clean up, but hands down, that was the coolest show I've been to. Yeah, that was just cool. It you know, you had awesome classic events, some new kind of twists. Guys were competing constantly. We did a whole new system of TV experience. On the qualifier days, we had 3 events set up, and 2 heats would be at each event, and we would just rotate on screen after one guy went on each event, just round robin style. So there was never a break for the viewers when they were competing. And out of that, the support just this past year after that, it just swelled. It was, I think people found that they saw that there was something finally for the majority of the sport, because the majority of the sport is not heavyweight nowadays. It's grown. It's grown to the point where most of the people look like me and you.
Well, do you think I look like you?
No,
I don't really. Okay, I haven't got any muscles.
With the American scene, then, what with Clash? What's kind of like, because I don't know how it works over there, but over here you've got like the main comp, so to speak, is like your northern qualifier that qualifies to like England's, and you go to Britain's, and then Europe's or whatever. So obviously Clash is kind of separate to the, you know, that kind of style of comp. Are you involved? Like, have you got involved with that side now, or is that kind of like how's the sport set up over there? Like, is it still kind of separate, and is the sport going in the same direction with the other promoters as well, or would you say you're kind of taking over as the kind of main comp of the year over in the US?
So I mean, you have Strongman Corps, which is an amateur organization with some pro level shows. USS amateur organization, then OSG. I'm not sure if you call it amateur professional yet.
No, we don't.
Best concern over there.
They just call it like novice, inters, and just a weight class 90s or 105s or whatever. There's not like a pro or amateur 90s. It's just a novice, inters, or normal 90s, I guess.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we have that's what we have, and for both my world titles, I got paid $1,000.
Right.
That never sat right with me. You know, it always kind of like, what the hell? I put just as much work as anybody that's won a world title. You know, like my alarm keeps going off. And so the Clash, I wanted it to be different. I didn't want it to be the same things we had over here. I wanted it to be elevated. I wanted it to be the show. I wanted it to be something that people wanted to come to. And it took me about a year or so to make it that way. So I work with them as best I can. I don't consider them competition or anything, because I'm not here for me. So you're not competing with me. This is for the athletes. So it's not my competition, because I don't care. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to make money, live off these people. I'm trying to give people an opportunity to really get what they deserve. Yeah.
And I suppose a compliment from the outside here, like you can really see that with the thing that you do, and like it does really come across. Like there's some promoters like in the UK where a lot of people almost like begrudgingly give them money and entry fees because they feel like they're just kind of running off with they're lying in their own pocket with it. Whereas the thing, what from my perspective, what you can see with you is you can see that like any kind of thing that's raised, it's all going back to it's all going back in directly to leveling up the sport in terms of the model. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And
that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah,
I've taken negative dollars from this. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. And it was part of the inspiration with what we did, what Luke Davis and I did last year. We ran the Britain's under 80s with like a similar model where we just basically said, right, come on, let's put on a show. Doesn't matter if we lose money. We've got a load of equipment. We've got a good following of people who are interested, who we can maybe get. And we just came up with the similar kind of thing to you, where we realised that one of the problems in this country was the fact that there was no prestige in the under 80 scene, particularly because there was no incentives for the best guys to actually turn up for the comp, because the titles were the competitions didn't have much prestige with them. They were just like kind of just in a car park, or like nobody really cared about them really. So there was no incentives for the top guys to do it. And then the weights had to be like kind of almost too light to accommodate to get more people into it, but then they were still too heavy for the kind of actual masses who are actually competing. So we kind of put together the model of like, how can we attract the top guys and actually get the, because that's what people said to us. They said, you won't get the top guys doing it in this country because there's no incentive. So then we put on we said, like 50% of the entry fees we'll just put directly into the prize pot. We put on some like opportunities to go for some records. We had the Atlas Stone record, deadlift record, dumbbell record. So we got some entries via that, and then we put a different weight option on. We put like a heavy option and a lightweight option, with a view to getting the people who it was usually too heavy for,
right,
to get in, and basically get their incentive was that they could be part of this big show, and half of their entry fee is going towards funding the elite guys. So anyway, we got like 50 entries or whatever, and we got a few sponsors together, and we ended up giving away like, I think £1,500 to the winner in prize money. It was just absolutely brilliant. But this was like an inspiration from the kind of what you were doing, I suppose.
Well, thank you. I'm humbled. I swear to God, I get humbled every single day by people. Just to me, it's just super humbling that anybody's copying me. Not copying, but you know what I mean, like using me as inspiration.
Absolutely brilliant. But to me, it's like it's a no-brainer. It's a simple model. Like you've seen it. I remember when it first came about, and it was something like, did you put like 10K down yourself?
Yeah, it was my money.
And you're like, fuck it. Like this could just blow back in my face and just be a complete failure. But
yeah,
you just went for it, and because you kind of
but this is why I asked about the US scene as well, because I think that over here in the UK, you've got these like newer promoters that are coming out, and I see like Luke and Reed, when they run comps, they get like 50 to 100 entries. And then I seen the other day, like Midlands 105 qualifier was posting that, we've only got 4 entries, so Midlands qualifiers off. We're going to, you've got to go half year to north, half year to south, just because there's 4 entries. And I'm like, well, that's just because you've not promoted it in the slightest, other than like one Facebook post. And how can you not get more than 4 entries for, for a national qualifier? You can only get 4 entries. Whereas these guys are running a masters competition, which you would think is like a smaller, audience, and they're getting 100 entries at Chaos Gym. And then I always think to myself, you've got to like question the way you're running the competition or the way you're advertising it. And that's why I thought, I don't know what the US scene's like, but I didn't know if Clash was like 3-4 times the size of this, because the Britain's under 80 that Josh ran, like I say, that was 4 or 5 times the size of some of these national qualifiers now. And it's just because how you get treated. The way they're treated, there's no reason to do it. There's no incentive. It's just like, really, they've run it every single year for 10 years, and they just like make the Facebook post, this is the events, guys, same venue, same this, and no, there's no like progression at all. And it makes the athletes, that's why people said you won't get the top athletes, because they see that thing every year and go, I've done it like 3 times now. It's like, it's the same thing. Like people ask me to do Northern's under 90 qualifier this year, and I've won the Northern's under 90s 4 times because I've been competing for like 12 years, and I've done it every couple of years or so. And the weights this year are like so much lighter than they were 8 years ago. So I'm like, I really can't be asked to go and do a 90 kilo stone to shoulder, mate. Like it's not going anywhere. So yeah, there's my little ramble.
No, I mean, it's very, I wouldn't say that my show, I don't know about bigger, because my regionals with the 105 qualifiers I've been doing, I've been getting anywhere from 11 to 19 people signing up. But that's about expected, to be honest, because it's very heavy. I made my region
big, heavy. Yeah, it's a massive, heavy show, isn't it? It's going to have a smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my intent, though. I only wanted guys that were capable and able to come compete at the main show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, another cool thing, our pro show qualifiers we ran, the online, the sign up, we had almost 300 people sign up for those.
It was amazing. I was part of it. I did the under 80s. I think I came 13th, I think. And it was, I was just amazed by the standard. Well,
this is the thing.
OSG qualifier last year online, and it was just like just put some basic lifts in and kind of qualified by default almost, because the field of entry is just wasn't as big. And I obviously there's loads of different arguments for and against, but I think the barrier for entry that you put up is just absolutely brilliant in terms of like people like literally everybody who I coach, I could say, right, let's come on, get in the online qualifier. It doesn't matter what you if you no rep this, and you can put whatever score in. You've got a free chance to pit yourself against the best guys in the world for free.
Yeah, and that's a thing. You know, as long as I can keep it going free, I'm going to keep it, because again, I don't want people to. You shouldn't have to come out of pocket to lift in your own gym. Screw that. You shouldn't have to come out of pocket to do a qualifier to go pay more money.
Yeah.
You know, if you're at some point, the athletes have to stop being bled dry by the organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it only takes a little bit of effort on a promoter's side to think about different ways of creating revenue, and then you can remove that. The fact that you've got to ask the athlete for everything, because it's kind of like you're just asking the athlete for everything, aren't you? Can you pay to come here and put on an amazing show and do all this crazy stuff, and you sort this and you sort that, sort your own hotel, it's an expensive sport, isn't it? So if you can get revenue elsewhere, then you can remove that kind of pressure from the athlete all the time that they've got to fund it themselves almost. And I think that way the sport's going, like you getting hundreds of entries into this online qualifier a couple of years ago, you'd have thought that was impossible, to be honest. And I think it's just going to get bigger every single year, and you need to have something in place that allows you to capitalize on the volume coming in, if that makes sense.
I think with that, like, what did you say? You have 300 entries this year.
Right.
Yeah, fucking brilliant. And like, there's like Shane, you were one of them who tried to sign up late and he wouldn't let you. Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Molly, my partner, she wanted to do it, but she was too late to. So I think like the next opportunity, I think that like it's just gonna, and like there's so many guys who I coach who got involved with it and thought it was great, like the online qualifier, and those guys will do it again, and it'll just snowball. And
I'm saying it's important to me that I do everything that has been done has been a failure in my eyes, in the grand scheme of things. And so, for example, the qualifier, we've seen qualifiers where it's like, here's your events, you have until this date to submit them.
Yeah,
I don't like that, because it gives guys too many opportunities, and it's just, to me, it's not as fun as waiting till Thursday and then you have 2 days to do it. Like, to me, that's fun.
Yeah, I think it's great. I honestly think that format was great. It was like, it was a pain in the ass because I was like away for one of the weekends or something. But you have to, if you want it, you work it out, don't you? You find a way. And like,
especially entry, all you have to do is get the stuff at your own gym. Like come on.
But I really thought it was great how there was a small window, because it does kind of, what's the word? It does reward you for being good all round, rather than like, say, if you had somebody like me, for instance, who's really obsessive. Like if I had a week or 2 weeks, I'd be fucking training it every day. I'd be working out all the little intricacies of how I can get an extra kilo or something.
Yeah.
And realistically, like, I think the way that you put it across is just like, well, let's see how good you are right now.
That's what it is. You
Yeah.
know, any great strongman will be good all around, right? Like no matter what. So if you're great, you're going to be good no matter what. On a random Tuesday morning, you can come up to me and say, "Hey, deadlift this much," and I can do it, right? Yeah. But that's if you're going to be great, that's what you need to be, and that kind of showed people a little bit. And again, the events were wild because like I had to pick events that, again, you guys were my first thought. I didn't want you to have too much setup and tear down, too much trouble doing the event, so I tried to be as possible as well.
That sandbag over shoulder was fucking good. It was the worst thing I've ever done.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things. I think OSG is doing a sandbag to shoulder ladder now, one of their qualifiers. Go figure.
Man. No, it was absolutely horrible. So if you need somebody to step in, you have a roll down. Remember me, I'm in 13th place.
Hey,
I'd love to go.
Oh, as people drop out, the only backups are through the online qualifier.
Yeah.
So.
So I think Flash is ahead of me. Don't bother asking him though, because he's fucked. He's fucked anyway. He's injured.
Don't keep him away.
What do you say?
Keep Flash away. You know. He's fucked off. Oh, he's absolutely broken. He's looking about 300 steps backwards. Sorry?
What happened to him?
Well, basically, I coach him. So he's had a fucked hamstring for about 2 years. And I told him to take OSG off because he kept kept competing on this hamstring. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So he took like 6 months off and then didn't even deadlift for 4 months. Started reloading his deadlift, got him to about 140 kilo, and then the Clash qualifier came out, and he was like, "Shane, if I qualify, it's not till August, so I can just sneak this 5 rep max deadlift, and then I'll go back to reloading my hamstring, and we'll be fine for Clash." Anyway, he pulls this 5 rep max, and he's like, "Oh, I can't feel my fingers, and I can't feel my toes," and he's got all this. Like, oh no. And then, he tried to do the sandbag over shoulder. And every time he hit triple extension, he's getting like sciatic leg and fucking spazzing out everywhere. So then he's like, fuck's sake, I've done this 5 rep max axle. And then because I couldn't do the sandbag over shoulder, he didn't even qualify anyway. So I basically did it for nothing.
That's brutal. Funny. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So in terms of like expanding your vision for Clash, like, and obviously making it a worldwide thing, like, I just want you to know that if there's any time that we can help with our network of it, just because we know lots of people in the under 1800 in the weight class scene in the UK,
right?
So if there's any way that we can help out, just reach out to us. And
I ask you about some kind of UK Clash as well. I thought that, like, I don't know what you think, Josh, but I would love to run something over here. If you ever want to ban idea,
I think that would be fucking awesome. We'd have to think how to do it because we find a way to make it. If it's going to be a one weight class show or multiple, if it's going to be a qualifier. Yeah, it just depends on what you guys want to do and how we can do it. Because I don't have any plans right now of setting up in-person competitions for all the for every weight class. Because I just don't have the scope. I just got to kind of control the growth of it before I do too much, and then it all folds.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Is like the vision of it for it to grow. Like you can't fucking do it all yourself, can you? That's the point. Like, I mean that, like, even if it didn't mean like us running it or whatever, but I mean like us involved, like using our network to help you expand. That's what I mean.
Okay.
And like if I'm not saying we're going to run the show, but we'd be able to get people who would, and we'd be able to raise, get sponsors involved and stuff like that. Like,
I think straight away as soon as you say, because I was going to ask him this anyway, because I've DM'd you a few times, but I know you like me, you're busy, so you ignore me, little fucker. But once my app's and my kind of coaching side's all smoothed out, I really want to pro, because I have the same vision of you that I'm more under 90, under 80 seeing guys, to be honest, mate. But I'm more like when I was at my, I've always said this, when I was at my peak under 90, I was a savage, but I didn't get fuck all, didn't get a penny, didn't get shit all, nothing. And it really frustrates me. And I really want to run. And I always thought to myself, as soon as you did the clash, that I would love to do something like that over here, because the problem over here is, like, I can't get the rights to England's Strongest Man under 90. I can't get the rights to these national, you know, they're just run by the same people. And it's like, no, they won't hand it off. They promote it their way. Even if I was like, look, I want to put my own money in, I want to do this, I want to make it bigger. They're like, nope, we're doing it this way. This is how it's always been done. And I'm like, yeah, no, mate. That's why I want it to not be done like that. I want it to be done better. So if we could do like something like a clash on 90s, under 80s over here, that would be like right up my street, and I would love to put like my soul into it.
What if we did European Strongest Man under 90?
Well, they did that. OSG would that, like, OSG ran that a couple of years ago, didn't they? Official Strongman. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. People
name,
it disappears. That got run once, didn't it?
Yeah, like a couple of years ago, didn't it? And that was Europe's Strongest Man type. Flash won, didn't he? In the under 80s. Do you remember, Shane?
Yeah, it was in it. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
We could figure out because if I do it in Europe, I mean, I'm doing one in Norway. That's like a Scandinavian qualifier, but it's still open to everyone. We are doing some 105 internationals this year. We could definitely expand. We're talking to, I don't know if I can say this, we might be in Europe at some point in 2023.
Right. Well, I'm going to think about it again, because like I said, I want to, as soon as I'm leveled out in my coaching scene, I really want to, like, my next kind of project, I want to help promote, I just want to give the guys, I feel like I just want to give the guys something. Like, some of these people I've known for years competing, and I, like you said about the 105s, I just feel like they just deserve, like, they train like just as hard as any other athlete. You know, they're on it with everything 24/7, and then sometimes I feel like they just don't get the reward or recognition. You know what I mean?
And let's brainstorm throughout the year. I would love to host something with you guys in 2023 and figure it out. I tell you what, right now, this right here, this is the only way that Clash works, is the community coming together. For everybody. I'll tell you what, I said the word humbled. I cannot believe across the world even has supportive and want to be part of it. If anything, that they were ready for something.
But I suppose it just takes, I don't know what the fancy words are, but just go with it. It just takes like one like pioneer or trailblazer to fucking step out. And that's what you've done. And then you've realized that there's actually so many people in this worldwide network with, you know, Shane, we talk about, I know you don't know us like very well, but like Shane and I run this thing, run this podcast or whatever. It's a bit of fun, and we like develop, like, give a lot of coaching content out for people to get better at strongman, essentially. But when push comes to shove, like, Shane and I are like, we could be competitors. Like, we could be fighting for the same business, like, because he has his own business, I have my own business that's strongman coaching online. But we have like kind of given this thing a go, and just since we've kind of brought this, like, come together and like elevated, but like our kind of reputation and results that we're getting people together. Like, I refer people to him, he refers people to me. Like, we share content with each other. Like, it's just great. And everybody, but the thing is, it's like, it's everybody wins. And it's like that thing of, like, say the three of us talking here, like 1 + 1 + 1 is a lot greater than 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
It's like the.
That's what Clash is. Clash is nothing but a movement. It's not an organization. At this point.
But it's just great to, like similar to what, like, we talked to Luke Davis quite a lot. Like, he's kind of how he's developing the shows and promotions in this country. Like, it's great because, like I said, the three of us could be, our businesses could be competitors, but actually the three of us are like kind of work like Chaos, MST, and my business, we're working synergistically. The whole sport, especially in this country, is getting better as a massive contribution promotes. So it's just
there's a big pie out there, isn't there? And if you're a coach, it's not me versus you versus someone else, because like I can't coach everyone, you can't coach everyone. You know what I mean? It's impossible. There's no point. Like, you know, I refer, like, if someone's more suited to Josh, I'm like, no, you probably, you know, go over there, or, you know, and I've never even thought about any other coaches' competition, to be honest with you. I just see him as part of the sport, and it's like, you know, I want everyone to do well, because I as long as the coach is invested in the sport, because there are some coaches out there that, you know, they don't coach and they don't do anything. I'll promote the coaches like 3D Strength, for example. You know, everything he does, he puts back into running shows, the 120 class, and, you know, investments. But I think as long as people are like that, there is no competition. We're all just together helping grow the sport, because the bigger the sport grows, the better it is for us as athletes, and the better it is for us as coaches as well. I feel like that.
Well,
I agree.
We can all win. Can win.
When I started the Strengthly Collective, a lot of people initially, they were like, oh no, you're coming for our business. I'm like, it's not your business, because this isn't coaching. You know, this is program templates that people that either can't afford coaching or are in a break, it saves them money. And it's just good. It's just good. It's good to get in there. People can get in there and learn how other people program and learn their bodies and stuff. It is not coaching. So like initially I got a little pushback, but then people were kind of like, all right, I see what this is. You know, I get it.
So tell us a bit more about so correct me. Is it Strength Collective or Strengthlete, or is it this?
It's Strengthlete.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, that started, again, I saw a need, you know, being a coach, being an athlete, being around the sport. I know there's tons of people out there that can't afford coaching that could benefit with, or in there, and they either don't trust open source or they just don't use it, or they feel better paying for it, whatever the reason is. You know, people don't source the free stuff a lot. Yeah. So I happen to be fairly well connected in the strength world. And I just kind of reached out and was like, hey, here's the idea. It's a monthly subscription. You give me a program, you get a cut of every dollar spent. And then we just give the people programming template, the good programming templates. That's one of my things. I made sure of these guys, like, I don't want your trash. I want you to program this as if you're programming something, but for everyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, they bought in. And since then
you can see from the outside that they're like, this is like such a great platform for the coaches to be involved in, to showcase themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
Someone comes in and does one of their programs, and then, hey, I like the way he does this, I'm going to hire them as a coach.
Exactly.
And yeah, everyone came together. And again, Strengthlead right now, Strengthlead is, besides myself personally, we're using Strengthlead to pay for all the class stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm working together. But you know, eventually the idea to get to Clash to where we don't have to come out of the one business for the other, because we have to grow that other business still.
Yeah. So let's have a plug for Strengthlead. Like, what is it you offer? What is the cost? Like, what for our listeners who are, say, looking for a low cost program, a budget program?
www.collective.com. It is a program website where you sign up for $35 a month and you get access to over 60 programs by 25 coaches. We have programs that are full programs like strongman prep, powerlifting prep, Olympic lifting prep, hybrid bodybuilding, power. We have programs that are specific. Like I have a deadlift program. Nicholas Canby has an overhead press program. Bobby Thompson has, he's going to have an overhead press program coming out. Maxime Boudreau is going to have a how to look like a freak like me program coming out. There's all types of stuff. Buck has a press conditioning program that teaches you how to press for reps. It's crazy the amount of content we have.
So good, so great. And like as Anthony said, like you're obviously going to filter it all. You're not going to accept any shit on there, right? You're like, it's all quality stuff. So great. What about you? I saw you had an advert up for your own coaching. So do you have some details about people who are listening who maybe be interested in signing up?
Yeah. So I recently retired from the U.S. Army, so I have a lot more time on my basically is what happened. So I just have more spots for coaching. Don't at me if you're this. Two reasons. One, I don't want to waste their money, and I don't want to waste my time. Those are the two reasons. Because I've had people come in, they're not serious, and this really is just a waste of money to them. And I could be helping somebody else. Because as you know, as personal coaching, there is a limited amount of people you can handle at once.
Yeah.
So you need to really, I'd like to vet a little bit. But if you're serious, if you want to get stronger, if you want, it doesn't have to be for sport. I've helped moms, old dads, all types of people just get stronger, feel better. Hit me up. You can go to the Strengthlete Collective website. There's a coaching option where you can a questionnaire for me. You can DM me. Maybe I'll read it. I don't know, Josh.
So if you go to your Instagram, there's a link on your bio, is there, with a link to the application form where they can the vetting form basically. Yeah.
Yep. It's on my Anthony Strong is my Instagram.
Brilliant. And finally, can we talk about the record breakers to finish off? Like, can you tell us a bit more about the event? Looks like really exciting. The coverage on ESPN. Is it a 2-hour slot?
We have 2 hours live on ESPN Friday night, 7 to 9 p.m. like prime time. And we're starting off with the American Deadlift Championships.
What's the date? Sorry, is it end of March?
April 22nd.
April 22nd.
Yep, we're starting with the Deadlift Championships. We have a heavyweight woman. We have a few 80 guys. We have a 64 women coming to compete. 105 guy, 105 guys, and then we are moving on to we're doing women's axle, 64 kilo axle, women's 82 axle. We're doing open women's log. We're doing men's 105 world record deadlift with two UK guys, actually, Matthew McKeegan and
Gavin. Yeah,
I coach him. I don't
weight class. It's like a weight class max lift record breakers thing live on ESPN.
Essentially, the only heavyweight we have is Evan Singleton's coming to break the circus dumbbell.
How does he qualify to this then?
This was a last minute thing. I only had 3 days, or I only had 2 or 3 days to fill it from when ESPN said we have it to when they needed the schedule. So I just did an Instagram push where I reached out like, hey, everyone come at me. I need, and I vetted up, send me like videos and lifts and stuff. But
what record would you go for, Shane?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I am the best under 90 log presser that's ever lived. So if you ever need someone to come do a record on ESPN Live, you just fucking DM me, motherfucker, because that is my scene.
I don't know. So I'm limited in my ability to pass. That's one thing. But all I have is my Instagram and Instagram. That's all we have. So that's what I did. So
I know, but I didn't see it. And I've missed out on your class qualifier now. And I've missed out on this bloody... Right, I should be on ESPN slinging a 180 straight log at 90 kilos, slamming it down and shouting Anadrol. That is my destiny.
Do you know what you can do is you can go to my profile and turn notifications on for whenever I post something.
I will do. I know that I'm saying this and I was like, what is this? Like, what is going on?
He will do when you reply to his DM.
No, I mean, serious. If you ever have a max log again, you bear me in mind under 90 kilo. Because that's my destiny, and I've been saving it. I haven't done a comp yet because I refuse to do a world record strict log under 90 kilo in front of 3 people. I refuse.
Wow. Yeah, Super Bowl. I could have had you done in front of thousands and thousands and thousands.
Well, is it too late for him to get him in?
I don't. I think there is somebody doing the under 90 right now. I think, isn't there? Okay, Charles Pierce is doing it.
Why don't you do it, Shane?
Does he do a push press though?
He split jerks.
Oh no! What are you doing?
Oh, you're one of them. You're one of those UK purists.
No, I just have a really good strict log, so I just like to troll people that use the legs.
That's all I'm at. I'm only good. I can't push anymore because of my knee.
What do you think you could do by the end of April under 90 then, Shane?
I'm on top form. I'd be able to do 180.
You'd be able to strict 180.
Yeah, that's true. I've done 175 before. I did an easy 160 last week. It was that pissed. RP fuck all. And then, I'd have 8 kilo to lose. I'm a bit heavy. I'm about 98 at the moment. But if that's enough time, I could do that.
Let me look at the schedule and see if we can fit you in. Yeah, I just have to look at the schedule because, again, it's live, so we have to time everything like crazy.
Yeah, I'll send you a video. I'm not taking piss because I know you don't have a fucking clue I am, but I'm strict logged on. You will soon.
Let me see the log.
Yeah, I will.
But
yeah.
And can I do the dumbbell, under 80 dumbbell?
I don't think we have someone doing the under 80 dumbbell. Oh. It's easier to add somebody that we're already doing than create a whole new event.
No, I get that.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing under 80 dumbbell. I'll keep it in mind though, because like I said, hopefully this happens every year. Because the reason ESPN did this is because they were happy with our ratings from the first year.
Yeah,
we had really good. I can't say specifically, but I know that we beat at least a couple episodes of World's Strongest Man.
Wow.
In the ratings.
That's cool.
Yeah,
you can invite me. I will 100% break the world record log strict because I can do that no problem. Because I think the record's 167. I got 170 in me all day. So
okay.
And saving it for the moment that matters, and now it could be.
Yeah, send me the video and I'll see what I can do. Because worst case scenario with all these attempts, we might only be doing the actual record attempts live to save on time. So you'd have to warm up to basically whatever and then come out on stage and hit the record.
Yeah, easy for me, mate.
Okay. All right. I will. Let me know, and then like I said, I'll do some of the math and see if we have any time to put you in there.
If there's no time, I don't. I'm only trolling you a little bit. But next it's more notice. I need to make you aware of my strict log powers because I should be there.
You're in my DMs all the time, but then you don't DM me when it counts.
I know, fucking. I keep missing him. I missed the clash qualifier. I seen it and I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. How have I missed this? And then I tried to enter. I was like, Josh, I can't enter. He's like, oh, you're a day late, mate. I was like, fuck.
Shane, share that 170 Anadrol log that you did. Share that to your story and tag him and tag me because I'll share it again because it's fucking brilliant.
There you go.
Yeah, will do.
Right, have you got any more questions to ask Anthony, Shane? No, you've got that one off your chest.
Yeah, I got. No, I don't really have anything other than to say that. Yeah, like you said before, I'm glad that I think you're the first person because a lot of people must have had the idea of something similar-ish to class. You know what I mean? Something that pushes the weight class because everybody who competes in it does think the same thing, which is like I think we deserve more. I want it to be bigger, etc. And I just want to say, yeah, fucking class that you were the first one really to like take that step. And like you say, you've inspired people around the world now to start trying to do something else with the weight classes. Like definitely inspired me to, especially just seeing the quality of the production and stuff. It's so good because just having that incentive as an athlete to go somewhere. And you know, like I've had it before where I've come back from massive competitions and I've told people I've competing and they're like, oh, like, where's it going to be? Like, how can I watch it? Like, what can I do? And I've got this, potato video on my phone here, mate. You can watch this. It's kind of a bit of a bit disheartening. So just to be able to like have something like that and show people, and then it allows like friends and family and stuff to like, oh wow, this is pretty fucking cool what you do, and it just expands the sport a little bit instead of the little shitty phone clips that you're having to show to everyone. So yeah, I just want to say, big fan.
Yeah, it's definitely the stuff that you're doing, and most of this obviously you say you're refining it and making mistakes and stuff, which is obviously great, and that's natural with growth, isn't it? But it's you can see it's definitely it's been a catalyst in developing the sport all over the world, like following similar systems, and because it's fucking, once somebody's pointed out the route, it's fucking simple, isn't it? It's simple. It's like you're not doing anything. It is. I think it's great, and like it just takes away the excuse of that people saying this could. Oh, well, it's nobody's interested, or nobody cares, or people only want to see the big guys lift, or like it's bollocks.
ESPN is interested, and that's all I need, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that whole interest thing is so it's like the Arnold this year. The women, they're not getting the free live stream on Rogue. Apparently, they got to pay. So you got to pay to watch the women.
Wow.
And they're going to turn around and be like, not enough people watch the women. Well, of course they did. You're charging $25 a stream. Why would a bunch of people log in? It's just same people just keep making the same mistakes. And it's time, it's time.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you very much for your time. It's been great. Great to have a chat. And yeah, nice one.
Thank you guys for having me. This was awesome. I appreciate you guys. Stay in contact. And
so what's your Instagram for people listening?
Anthony Fuhrman Strong.
Fantastic. So make sure you follow him and slide into his DMs because he'll fucking ignore you. Unless you want to pay him for coaching. Right, see you later. See you later, guys.